Today I'm gonna mess with folding things, drawing, and then drawing from that folded version of something. If that makes sense. Really should bone folder. I have one somewhere. Just not at home. No home bone folder. I don't think this will transfer right to it. Part of the appeal of bone folder is that it is not very likely to transfer any sort of a pigment to whatever you're folding. Okay, you know this fold thing. Now let's get a Sharpie. There's Anatomy of a Murder type vibes. Oh man, it ended up on the back. I'll redo this maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. Something of an experiment. Hold this back. Now what I'm actually going to do is... Hello, Doodle Mine. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well, doodling well. Glad you're doing good. I'm doing alright. A little bit of a slow start today. That's okay. I heard someone refer to it as a baby grip, how I hold my pencil. It's like a variation on this, but I rest it here. So I don't know if it shows up on camera, but I have this weird little knob here that's developed over decades, I guess. I can write like this, but it feels far less settled. Well, right now it's hard to see on camera, but I prefer sketching things with pencil. But for the sake of viewers, I usually switch over to Sharpie at some point. Right now, this is just plain printer paper, because I was messing around with folding. This is a different sort of approach, but usually I'm using some sort of tracing paper. I went to SCAD Atlanta for graphic design. I don't have any formal, I don't really have formal education in regards to animation. Different sort of thing. Like I've had some classes here or there that are related to animation, but it's not like my major. Most of what I've done with animation is self-taught. Is it like super early in the morning for you? It's afternoon here. Late morning? 2 in the morning. You can tune in whenever it works for you. If you want to watch recorded streams that might be better for your time, you can go to YouTube and watch. I've got a bunch of streams there. I might actually use a larger sheet and then cut it down. Might have better success that way. Is it February 14th there, or is it the 15th where you're at? It's 2 in the morning. It's the 14th here. Ah, so you're ahead of me. Oh, you're in India. It's been a minute. I used to have more people tuning in from India, but I guess people are less likely to. I don't know if Twitch is popular in India, but Instagram had more people tuning in when I was doing lives there. A number of the people who are tuning in are either in America or Mexico. Every now and again on Instagram, I'd have like groups of folks that were either in Germany, India, a few folks in Brazil, Colombia. No exhibition of animation specifically. It's a little bit harder to exhibit those. I have been a part of exhibitions where it's sort of alternative things, process-based things. It's a little bit awkward to showcase animation in a way that's not just looking at a bunch of screens, and ideally I've done that in just like a personal space or in a studio space. I've had like individual frames featured. I like the idea of showcasing a bunch of frames. But again, it's a sort of awkward thing to do. I've done it in small instances, but not like a larger exhibition space sort of deal. You're just interested in graphic design. That's cool. That's what my degree is in. Towards the tail end of classes, I got a little bit tired of updating my portfolio, and I started exploring more animation things on the side, and I started getting some work there, which is how I sort of how I ended up where I'm at. Instagram, I had something of a fan base started on Tumblr, and some folks who had more of a fan base on Instagram, and it sort of grew there. Right now, I've been gaining more by posting Reels because Instagram is posting or promoting those more. So if you have anything that functions well in a Reel, you're more likely to reach an audience outside of your own group. If you find like-minded people who are working in a similar field, and you comment on their stuff a lot or interact with them, you can grow a bit that way. Mine was grown mostly by connections that I had from other projects and stuff. You're more likely to at least get like some people following you that are in that space, and they may or may not share your work. Depends. That's not the way that I'm best at interacting with other folks. Right now, if you want like something growing using Reels more, because Instagram is trying to compete more with TikTok stuff. You're more likely to gain some traction with those because they get promoted to people's explore pages and such. And there's a dedicated space. That isn't as filled. There are a lot of people posting Reels, but there aren't as many people posting Reels as there are people posting pictures and stuff. For a bit, it was video sort of functioning that way. I remember there used to be a lot more Indian TikToks. And then got banned. But Instagram, a lot of Reels are just things from TikTok directly. The fastest growing that I've had happen on Instagram is that when I was verified, that meant that the Instagram's account, like just the official one, was following me for a minute, and they promoted my account to new followers or new users, and so new people joining the platform would have suggested users, and I was one of them for like 30 days, and that gained a lot of followers. It's harder to find new people joining or to reach accounts that you don't already interact with on Instagram. There's not as much of like a featured page in the same way that people interact with it. Most of those are just already popular accounts. Or ones that are resharing. You might, in some instances, find success in getting featured on one of those pages, but that's something of a crapshoot. It's inconsistent. And some of those pages want you to pay to be featured on them, and I don't like that as a thing. It can work, but it's whatever. If you're solely looking for numbers, you can buy followers in different ways, but that's not my approach. If you're just trying to find more people who are like interested in stuff that you're interested in, then it's probably a better approach to try and connect with those accounts in different ways. Direct messaging can work and not work, depends on what sort of person it is that you're reaching out to. Commenting, interacting with their posts, finding people who are at a similar stage as you. Because if you're only reaching out to people who are like pre-established, you're one of a lot of people. But if you're finding someone who is not as established and you create a relationship with them, then you're one of far fewer people, and it takes more work and it's less immediate what the sort of outcome might be. But that's how most of my relationships came about, was I was creating and sharing and interacting with people who were doing similar work as far as like reach and status within that sort of community. Making friends, not trying to find folks that already have hundreds of thousands of followers and stuff. It's just finding people that you like and appreciate their work, and you can find common ground. At least that's my experience. That's not true for everyone. Networking is good. If you're just trying to find a following, I don't know what, I'm not the best at that specific aspect of things. Thank you. That came about as a result of posting on Tumblr. Fiona Apple found me there. She liked the work. That took some time. So that one was establishing some sort of community kind of on a certain platform, and luck that someone saw it. It took a few months. There's no shortcut with it. Like, I did as many shortcuts as I could, but to have it be that final effect, there's not really faster way other than including more people that I would know for creating that. What was I thinking? There's a number of occasions. I've messed some here and there with digital animation, but it's not my preference. Doesn't have as much life to it, and I'm just not as comfortable with it because I got, like I did for the, so with the music video for Fiona Apple, that was I animated it digitally and then I printed everything out and traced it. And maybe if I had a better setup digitally, I'd have a better outcome, or a more preferred for my sort of aesthetics and such outcome. But I much prefer the look of ink and paper and the texture and such. The edges and the warping of the paper, the textures there. And for that I still did frame by frame. It's just my preference. I don't like the look of digital animation as much, at least when I'm doing it. There are times where I can't tell a difference between like frame by frame or digital animation, depending on how good or bad either is, or how it's handled. You end up with variations of qualities. But my preference is my work style now. But going back to that video, talking about the idea of it just sort of being lucky. Depends on who you are and how you work, how you function, but the more opportunities that people have to find your work, the more likely you are to get lucky. You might be lucky and have the right person find your work only doing like one thing one time, or that person might not see it ever, despite you posting it or uploading it or sharing it or promoting it a million times. But the more you share, promote, and do whatever with your work, the more likely you are to have that lucky sort of thing happen. By chance. And then if you're able to execute the thing, that's something that I remember someone talking about, is like if you're lucky the first time and you aren't able to like step up to whatever the next level is or accomplish the thing at that time, which I don't think I would have been able to do that animation when I was younger. I just wouldn't have had either the patience or the know-how or the resources to purchase all the materials, stuff like that, or the comfort in communicating on that sort of level with whoever else is involved, and knowing I had learned later on that everything I did was pretty bad, but I would have done it worse before. Well, hope you sleep well. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to watch this final bit of stuff, I will be uploading it to YouTube and a sped up version on Instagram. I also have a sped up version eventually on YouTube, but I usually try to just leave it be there's a delay between. Well, appreciate you tuning in regardless, and hope that you sleep well. Bye. Tips about doing. should have marked this out before. That's okay. Thank you. The idea is that I can then fold this in some way, but I should have marked this down prior. This is just going to be a single drawing. This is, since it's, well, for me it's Sunday, it's the weekend. I tend to do less stuff on weekends. The idea is that I can cut this down and fold it and have sort of two versions of the thing, have it be somewhat kinetic. Cut this down. No, this was not an animation. This one's a still. I'm going to scan this as it is. While that's happening, draw these folds. Anyway, I'm gonna try this a few different ways. I don't really have a great way to do this. Hello. Let that stay open. Hola, hola. Buenos tardes. Make sure this is dry, because that will permanently be on that. Backing. And you're using this kit. Scanning at a higher resolution. I don't think I actually need to. When it stills and there are fewer of them, I prefer scanning at higher resolution. Hello, whoever just started watching. Welcome. Folder once more. Okay. These are larger files. Know what I'm gonna do? Just no, that's too big to export. We're just gonna scan this as a blank background so that I have a more consistent color and texture to compose these against. Because otherwise, it would be white, and I don't want to lose all the little bits of textural elements. I'm curious what this would look like if it's like completely blown out. Black and white. Not my preference. Oh, the thing's still in there? My bad. No, it's the big to export. Scan again. It's pretty massive. Let's make this just 3600. Shouldn't be needing it any larger than that. Make this process a bit easier. It's not instantaneous, but easier. about this now? Just I should make this 4,000. So I'd like to crop it just a little bit after I adjust these things because this background is actually gonna have a little bit of an outline to it. I'm actually just gonna do this about it. It's easier. Okay. Add a moment. Or 2 or 3. That might be too big. Okay. I know it's too big. And slideshow. Modify log designs. 2 Excuse me. That's the idea. Just having a folded item. Not too much more outside of that conceptually. I just like the look of folded things and such. Sorry, distracted with the editing some elements down for the shirt. I need to generally just sort of make this darker, I think, for that. Okay, I got distracted. Hero, now it's going to be real big. Let's just make this 1080. Save it as a separate thing. And switch this out. Design, so 14, folder for your download. It's almost ghost-like when it gets unfolded. Okay, that's what I got going for today. So, spiel time. Not just that, I need to say links. So, if you want to watch this in full, or other streams in full, you can go to youtube.com/True @TraceLoops. If you want to buy these drawings, other drawings, shirts with drawings and such on them, or other merchandise, you can go to traceloops.com/store. If you are looking to have it shipped outside of the US, and to have something shipped outside the US, that's not a direct option within a web store, but you can email me and I'll work with you. It's going to be a slight increase in price for international shipping costs, but you can email me, traceloops@traceloops.com. If you want to follow me on other platforms, you can follow me on Instagram. I'm TraceLoops there. If you're on a web browser, you can go instagram.com/TraceLoops. Similar for TikTok, TraceLoops on TikTok as well. And you can find me at tiktok.com/@TraceLoops. Don't have anything else to mention today. That's it, I think. Thank you all for watching. I'll have these things available in different contexts shortly. Appreciate you watching, and be back tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, adios.